Hi, I'm 32 years old and I decided to become an artist. Last time I drew it was about 8 years ago, and since then I didn't draw anything. Now coming back to it and following my passion brought up so many fears and challenges around it, so today I just wanted to talk about it in case there is someone out there having the same struggles, and I just wanted to share my journey. This video inspired by my journal this morning and also an episode I watched from Feriran. It caught me thinking because whenever someone asked Feriran, why are you into magic? And she was keep saying, it's my hobby. And whenever someone asks, why are you helping these people, or why are you doing this? And she is always like, I'm doing it for myself. And then that started making me thinking, art was my passion, drawing was my passion when I was growing up, but why I stopped doing it? After university, basically life became even more serious. I was a quite serious kid to begin with, and after university, I got a job and my weekends were fully dedicated on working. I worked over a decade in tech as a software developer, and at that time, I loved doing what I did. But I burned out almost 2 years ago, and from that moment on, I started questioning every life choices I made, basically. And I wrote down on my journal today because it felt a little bit weird to me. As I said, it's been 8 years I didn't draw, and I was thinking to myself, what was I doing every weekend? Because if you calculate mathematically, I'm not gonna do that here, by the way, but it's 2 days for 8 years, the weekends. Or at least one of those days. I could have drawn, but I didn't. And I questioned myself why. And the only thing I could answer was basically survival, paying the bills, paying the rent, and proving other people I am worthy of my job or going on a company ladder and all. But I just wished I prioritized what I loved. And I wrote down a couple of questions, and I was reading the book called The Artist Way, and even calling myself as an artist took quite a lot of time, as if I need to earn that first. That's what I was thinking. I didn't perform art for 8 years. How can I call myself an artist? I was thinking that. But in this book I read, The Artist Way, the writer specifically said you need to be able to comfortably call yourself artist even before you start. So now whenever I'm meeting with friends, when I do this video, I'm calling myself an artist even before I am very good at, because we don't know how long that will take. So back to the questions. I am in my 30s, as you can guess. Am I too late to start something new? I had a pretty good career in tech. I am switching into something like art. Why? And I'm not a kid anymore. Maybe you had this question like I did. When you are a kid, you're able to learn things easily, and maybe, the art geniuses starts when they are kid and all, those things. So yeah, to answer to that question, by the way, I didn't draw for 8 years, right? And I recently drew this digital art, and I was thinking to myself, oh, that doesn't look very bad. I see that there's a talent, I see that there's a taste, I can improve this. But then the fear came into it. Am I too late? Only time we are late is the time we stop breathing. Until then, it's never late. And the second question, what if I am not that talented? What if I am not able to improve myself even if I took it seriously? What if I cannot live up to my own expectation of myself and my talents? And to answer to that, there's only one way to find out. Which is trying. We will never know unless you try. Maybe this is my starting point, but I can just try to reach my own max, my own potential as much as possible. And I'm not sure how long that will take. Right now my goal is to give it a whole year, but if I seek for perfection, I'm not going to start. If I don't start, in contrary, if you think this way, nothing will become perfect, nothing will become improved if I don't show up for it. Also, the question, what if I'm not talented enough? Like when I look at my own drawing, I thought, oh, I see a potential. But if I start comparing my own drawing to some other artists, then I will probably start spiraling. Oh, but this could have been better, that could have been better. Once you go down into overthinking, it's just keep coming. So comparison is the thief of joy. And right now I am in a sabbatical, so I'm giving myself a whole year to figure things out. But I can imagine not everyone has this much of time. Maybe you are there who's having the same questions, want to pursue art, but you have a full-time job, or you have families and kids and so much responsibilities. You may think, how am I going to create time to be able to do all this? I'm just coming back to the first thing I said in the beginning of this video. I just thought to myself, I have 2 days in a whole week and I didn't draw anything at 8 years. I could have just drawn something in some weekend, and it doesn't have to be regular. And this is my hobby. I can just doodle anything and it doesn't have to be perfect. I think in my case, I was looking for the perfect time and space. Once I have this amount of money, once I have this amount of working hours, once I am in this environment, then I will start doing. I fall into that trap myself for almost 10 years, so that I'm telling you. You don't have to have the specific day, specific time. You can just do whatever makes you feel comfortable. Drawing is nice, but if you don't have time for that, I think even coloring books are, to just express that artistic way. If I was working at the 9-to-5 job right now, which this is one of my regrets, I wouldn't push myself so hard to do a better job at work, study in weekends. Instead of doing all that, I will just give myself a couple of hours each weekend and just doodle something. I don't have to even finish it. If I can go half, I can just continue finishing it in the upcoming week. Why not? And the last question, how do I justifying spending money on equipment for a hobby? And this is a question I started asking myself recently, especially because I am unemployed. Yes, I do have some savings, but I wanna be able to sustain this time of me figuring things out as much as possible. So whenever I think about spending money on equipment, I feel extra careful. But then, you know what I'm realizing? I am seeing a pattern about myself. I love shopping. I love looking at nice things, buying cute little trinkets. I was watching another YouTuber the other day. She was actually sharing her own journey, how she stopped spending so much after she get into creating art more, drawing something over buying random trinkets. I feel like sometimes when we have these unfulfilled needs, we just try to fill that gap with things that kind of gives a boost to the need of shopping. As soon as I spend more time into drawing and more time into pouring my energy to my passion, that feeling of buying random things will reduce. It already decreased tremendously, by the way. So I told myself, I spent all my life working. Why do we work? We work to live. But it felt like opposite to me when I was living. It felt like I was living to work. If I am not going to spend some money on the things that I love, why am I even working? So I worked so hard for those savings. Why I felt I shouldn't spend money on my hobby. It all comes down into self-love. If I love myself enough, I would give myself more opportunities, work on my passion, do something that I love. This feels like I spent my whole decade to fit into a culture, being an adult, while I was sacrificing my own dreams. Why do you do all this? I do it for myself. Rerun reference. Because I want it. I do it for myself because it's my hobby and I will take it seriously. I'm recording this video on my kitchen table, by the way, because I don't have my own artist space just yet, but that's going to be my next video. I'm going to create my own artist space. My first art book just delivered. I've been debating to buy or not to buy this book because I am unemployed. It's free run. My first eyebrow, I'm very excited. Very, very excited. So if you're like me in your 30s, you probably have some money saved up in corner, or you are working, you have some money. Go get yourself an art book. Go invest in into your hobbies. Because where I'm gonna take all that money? If I die tomorrow, all the money I save not going to come with me to my grave, you know. That is so nice. I am very excited. Should I make another video to show what's inside? New book smell. I'm reaching the nirvana right now.